Hello everyone, Time to Grind here, and today I wanted to talk about the recently released TemTem, and I've made a video about it before several months ago when it just popped up on Kickstarter and I was really hyped for it, and since then it has come a long way. There's been alpha tests, there's been stress tests, I've participated in a couple of them, but I was mainly waiting for this big early access push, and it has come out in early access as of today. Now obviously, just like any other MMO or online game, there have been a crazy amount of server issues, people not being able to get in the game, long queue times, crashes, stuff like that, and I'm not really going to take into account any of that in my first impression video just because it's kind of obvious. Anyone going into TemTem day one of it coming out, especially with all of the hype that it has been getting recently, is not the smartest. So, I fully expected there to be server issues, and there were. It took a long time to get in, and even when you get in, there was still some, lagging a little bit when you finally, when you picked up an item. Sometimes it could take like 30 seconds to register you picking up the item, or say you get in an encounter, it could take 30 seconds to get in the encounter, or it could just soft lock, and then you have to Alt F4 and get back into 11,000th place in queue. But those are server issues, and they are expected. So anyone complaining about those, especially in their reviews / first impressions videos, not the brightest. But, I do want to also preface this with saying this is not a full-on review. I've only had a couple hours to play with this, and they weren't even uninterrupted hours. So this is kind of just my first impressions video that I wanted to get out, and I possibly, depending on how much you guys enjoy this video, I might make a, review the more I play it. I just wanted to give my first impressions of it. So first off the bat, the game looks incredible, it sounds incredible, and it feels like it is its own game. A lot of people, every time this game gets mentioned in Reddit, a lot of people just talk about how it is a Pokemon knockoff, and that might be true. It might be, just a Pokemon knockoff, but it does something that Pokemon didn't. People have been wanting a modern, Pokemon MMO for so long, especially with some of the changes like no randomness and stuff like that. And so that is really awesome. And there's some things that this game does that is so unique. So first of all, one thing off the bat that I really like is all the battles are duo, battles. So you're always going to have your two people, and it makes synergizing really, really awesome. And also there are some special types of moves that have like extra hidden powers on them depending on if it is your other TemTem is the correct type. So one of the first ones I saw was this kind of move like glass shards on my crystal TemTem, and pretty much if you had a flying TemTem, it increased like the power of it and stuff like that. There was also like this kind of poison move that it just dealt a bunch of damage, but if you had like the toxic poison type TemTem, it also it poisoned them for like 4 turns. So not only is important to kind of make sure your TemTem can cover all your bases, so you don't have two of the same TemTem types, so you can vary that up and vary your strategy. But the fact that there's synergistic elements in the move sets of some of the characters themselves, I really, really like that. And that is something that I am super looking forward to playing more, in the future. And along with the charm that this game has, I love the art style, love the music, like I said. Another thing I saw people on Reddit talking about is that, the reason Pokemon is so big is because people like Pokemon. They like the, nostalgic creatures that they grew up with, or, they're super cute and they super have charm. And they're like, oh, these TemTem, they just look like knockoff Pokemon. And there are some of them that don't look, the best as like Pokemon, but there are some of these creatures, like there was this one TemTem called Kaku. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. It's like just a little flower thing, got some poison stuff going on, but I love the way it looks. I love the way the evolved version of it looks, and it has this huge charm to me. And so, obviously not every TemTem is going to be, a hit. It can be a little hit or miss, but then again, Pokemon is like that in the first place. There's going to be some that you love, some of them you don't, but I am already starting to find myself getting attached to some of these specific TemTem because I really like the designs on them. On top of that, I do really like the game is structured, at least so far. Obviously, I've only played a couple hours, so I haven't got super far, but just kind of a first impression, I love the constant battling, At first I thought I was going to get annoyed with the constant encounters, but it is kind of nice how it's almost like linear a little bit, at least on this first island. It's sort of linear and just kind of like showing you the rope, showing you, you know, catching these TemTem and stuff like that. And I like the way it introduces the mechanics. Every now and then it will show you a new hint of something you might not have known about the game so far. The only thing I was a little confused about until I kind of looked more into it was the synergistic moves, but I quickly figured that out, especially since one of them just flat out said, you know, if you have a, you know, toxic TemTem, I think it was called, then it does extra toxic, you know, sludge, poison damage, whatever it's called in this game. Another thing that I really love about this game is the character customization. It's an MMO, obviously, so you want to, you know, customize all your characters, but I was really impressed when I selected, you know, my hair type, and then it was allowing me to pick 2 entire different colors for my hair, and, you know, customize all that. And obviously there will be more customization as the game, you know, grows and evolves. It is just in early access. The full version of the game is not planned to come out until late next year, I believe, and obviously even then it could be delayed, it could be bumped up, it just all depends. But right now there's 3 of the 6, you know, main islands that they're planning on having. There's, I think, around 80 TemTem in the game right now, and on top of that, you know, there is still endgame content technically, because you have the, you know, competitive battles that you can play against other people. You can also play with your friends, you can play co-op with your friends, you can verse your friends. There's breeding in the game right now. So there's a ton to do, and there's Luma, you know, hunting, which is kind of like shinies and Pokemon. I think it's a 1 out of 6,000 chance that you will find a Luma version of a TemTem, and in that case, you know, it has its own little, it looks different, and I believe 2 of its 6 stats are perfected, the highest they could possibly go. So, you know, there is going to be a part of that, mainly just for having it look cool, but it's awesome that, you know, say you find a shiny in Pokemon, but its stats are terrible, it might feel bad, because you're like, well, I just spent all this time hunting and I can't even really use it because the stats are so bad. And obviously that is for like super high-end competitive TemTem, because, you know, for your normal campaign it's not going to matter if the stats aren't perfect on one of your TemTem. But overall, the types, I'm still getting used to the types. Obviously things like Crystal and I think it was like the digital TemTem version, or type. You know, there's a lot of different typing that make it unique from Pokemon that I'm still having to get used to. But overall, I really am liking this game, and I didn't expect myself to actually like it as much as I did. You know, obviously, I made a video hyping it up back in the day, so I obviously wanted to make a first impressions video, but as I was playing it, you know, even with all the server interruptions, I was like, man, this is kind of being a lot of fun. And I have a lot of friends that are, you know, getting ready to get the game. I think they're kind of just waiting on the server issues to be solved, which is fair. They have gotten a lot better since the game first came out at noon today, but by the time you watch this, it will probably have been a lot better. But I'm really liking this game so far, and obviously I can't go super in depth because of the simple fact that I have only played a couple of hours. I just wanted to get a first impressions out there, letting you know that this is very promising, and I can't wait to keep playing it, and I can't wait to just keep exploring all that this game has to offer and discover all of the cool TemTem. You know, everybody was like, oh, it's not Pokemon, you're not going to care about catching all these different types of, you know, TemTem, but I am really invested in some of these TemTem's, you know, models and designs and just the way they work, and there's a lot of really interesting, unique things that this game does that makes it really promising long term for me. One, you know, being the synergistic moves in themselves. That's huge for me. That seems really cool. The fact that all of the battles are double battles, because, you know, there's so much more depth to that, versus, you know, do you want to both team up on one person and try to take someone out, or do you want to, you know, kind of split them up? All of the new typing and stuff like that. I am really excited. But overall, if you have played this game or attempted to play it with server issues or been watching people play, I would love to know your guys' opinions on it. You know, do you think it, you know, lives up to the hype? I'd love for you guys to let me know in the comments down below. I personally do, and I'm really excited to keep on playing. And if you enjoyed this video, then consider leaving a like down below and subscribing to see more content. And if you like this TemTem video, you know, you might want to see a more full-fledged review, definitely let me know in the comments down below. And if you guys are having a great day today, I hope you continue having a great day. If you guys aren't having a great day, I hope you guys start having a great day. But either way, guys, I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. See you guys next time.